What would you do if someone knocked on your door at 5 in the morning and told you that going to work today would cost you your life? Emma Rowe had always been the shy girl who kept her head down. For 32 years, she'd perfected the art of being invisible, sitting in the back of meetings, finishing her work early and quietly, never causing trouble. At Coleman Capital Group, she was just another data analyst. Efficient, forgettable, safe. But this morning, everything changed. 5:02 a.m. Her kitchen light flickers like a dying heartbeat. On the refrigerator, a photo of her father smiles back beneath it, a yellowed note taped with care, "Truth sets you free." Emma stands at the counter, hands wrapped around coffee she hasn't touched, when someone pounds on the door. The sound echoes through her small apartment like a gunshot, making her heart leap into her throat. It's Gabriel Stone, her neighbor. The man who's lived next door for 3 years and never said more than good morning. Now he's drenched in rain eyes, wild with urgency. "Don't go to work today," he says, voice low and fierce. "No matter what happens, Emma, stay home." Emma's hands tremble. "What are you talking about?" "Your father knew this day would come." Gabriel sets a soaking envelope on her table, rain bleeding through the paper. "He left this for you. Read it. Trust it. And whatever you do, don't go to that office." Before she can respond, he's gone, disappearing into the gray dawn like a ghost with a message from the dead. Emma picks up the envelope with shaking fingers. She hasn't heard her father's name spoken aloud in 6 years. Not since they told her it was a sudden stroke. Clean, unavoidable. Nothing anyone could have prevented. She never believed them. This shy girl had learned early that asking questions only brought more pain. But the questions never stopped haunting her late at night when sleep wouldn't come. Now she's holding something her father left behind. Something someone wanted her to find. But why now? Why today? Her phone buzzes. Calendar reminder, Coleman Capital Group. Quarterly review, 9:00 a.m. CEO Hale attending. She stares at the notification, then at the envelope. Gabriel's warning echoes in her mind. This should be inspirational, a mysterious letter from a father who believed in truth. But right now it just feels terrifying. Emma opens her laptop and types a message to her manager working from home today. Analysis uploaded early. She hits send, her heart pounding so hard she can hear it in her ears. And somewhere across the city, in an office she'll never see, someone is already using her name to commit a crime. What did her father discover that was worth dying for, and why does a silent neighbor suddenly care if she lives through this day? Emma logs into the morning Zoom. 12 faces in small boxes. No one acknowledges her presence. "Emma, you there?" Her manager Derek barely glances at his camera. "Yes, I'm here." "Good. The S7 analysis better be uploaded by noon. CEO Hale is reviewing everything personally today." He moves on without waiting for confirmation. Emma's already finished it. She always works ahead. It's how this shy girl has survived 4 years at Coleman without drawing attention. Invisible, reliable, overlooked. But at 9:43, something shifts. A new email arrives, Gene Vault S7, access key updated. Her breath catches. Gene Vault. She's heard that word before. Years ago, late at night, her father on the phone, voice tight. If they discover what's really in Gene Vault, Emma won't be safe. She clicks the message. The attachment is encrypted. An access key flashes on screen for 3 seconds, then vanishes. She never requested this. Never knew this file existed. Her stomach turns cold. This email wasn't meant for her to see. It was meant to make it look like she saw it. At 10:15, her phone rings. Unknown number. Ms. Emma Rowe. A man's voice, official and cold. Yes. Officer Martinez, NYPD. We need to discuss your whereabouts this morning. Security footage shows you entering Coleman Capital at 8:03 a.m. Can you confirm? Her pulse spikes. That's impossible. I've been home all morning. Pause. Ma'am, we have clear video evidence. Your badge scan. Your biometric verification. You were physically present in that building. No, I wasn't. I can prove. Then who's in that footage, Ms. Rowe? The line goes dead. Emma stares at her phone, her whole body trembling. Someone has stolen her face, her identity, her entire existence. She thinks of her father's photo on the fridge, his kind eyes that always saw her when no one else did. What would he tell her to do right now? Her laptop blinks. New notification email sent from your account. 8:17 a.m. She opens her sent folder with trembling hands. There it is. An email she never wrote, sent to an external server, Gene Vault S7 final data transfer. Attached are classified files with her father's name buried deep in the metadata. Someone has stolen her digital identity. Someone is using her father's encryption signature. And whoever it is wants the world to believe she's guilty of something she doesn't even understand. The shy girl who never caused trouble is now wanted for corporate espionage. At 11:30, there's another knock. This one is measured, controlled, professional. Emma checks the peephole. A tall man in a dark coat holds up credentials she can barely read through the distortion. She cracks the door open. Who are you? Nathan Hale, CEO of Hale Biotech Corporation. His voice is steady, his gaze direct, but somehow gentle. Your father and I worked together 6 years ago. I need to talk to you about Gene Vault. Her throat tightens. My father was just an accountant. No, Emma. He was a whistleblower. Nathan's expression is grave. He was part of a genetic research initiative called Gene Vault, a program that collected and monetized human DNA without consent. When he tried to expose it, they silenced him. They called it a stroke. Your father called it murder. Emma's knees weaken. She grips the doorframe, the world tilting beneath her feet. Nathan continues, his tone careful but urgent. This morning at 11:57, there was an explosion in Coleman Capital's data wing. 3 servers destroyed. No injuries. The building was evacuated 10 minutes before the blast, based on an anonymous tip. Someone knew exactly when and where it would happen. What does that have to do with me? Your digital footprint is all over that building, Emma. Your badge, your access codes, your father's encryption key tied to your biometric signature. The police believe you planted evidence before destroying it. But you weren't there, were you? She shakes her head, unable to speak. Then someone is framing you. And if we don't figure out who and why, you'll disappear just like your father did. They'll erase you from the system, from existence. He hands her a business card. Simple, clean. You have a choice. Wait for them to arrest you, or let me help you uncover the truth. Emma stares at the card, her mind spinning through memories of her father working late, making hushed phone calls, looking over his shoulder. All the signs she ignored because she was too afraid to ask questions. Why would you help me? She whispers. Something flickers in Nathan's eyes, old pain carefully contained. 6 years ago, I lost my wife in a Gene Vault experiment that went wrong. Her name was Claire. She volunteered for what she thought was cancer research. They never told her they were testing genetic modifications without FDA approval. She died 3 months later. His voice catches almost imperceptibly. I've spent every day since trying to make sure it never happens again. Your father tried to stop them too. That's why they killed him. And that's why I won't let them kill you. He turns to leave, pauses at the threshold. Your father trusted me once, Emma. I know trust doesn't come easy for someone who's been invisible her whole life, but right now I'm the only ally you have. The door closes. Emma stands frozen, the unopened envelope from Gabriel still on the table, her father's face smiling from the fridge. This heartwarming reunion with her father's legacy is also the most terrifying moment of her life. Someone framed her. Someone killed her father. And now a stranger is offering the one thing she's never had a chance to fight back. Emma tears open Gabriel's envelope. Inside a single sheet of paper. Her father's handwriting, neat, deliberate, heartbreakingly familiar. My dearest Emma, if you're reading this, Gabriel kept his promise. You stayed home, and they've already made their move. 6 years ago, I discovered Coleman Capital was running an illegal genetic database called Gene Vault, designed to track, predict, and sell human biological data without consent. Corporations were buying the information to deny insurance, manipulate hiring, control futures. I tried to expose it. They called my death a stroke. You called it tragedy. I call it murder. But I didn't leave you defenseless, sweetheart. I embedded your name into the system's core architecture, not as a target, but as a failsafe. If anyone tries to weaponize or delete that data, your biometric signature triggers an automatic federal audit. They can't erase the evidence without erasing you, and erasing you means exposing themselves. Gabriel will explain the technical details. Nathan Hale will help you fight. Mrs. Mary next door will remind you that being a shy girl doesn't mean being weak. It means you've been waiting for the right moment to be strong. Trust yourself, Em. You've always been braver than you believed. This is your inspirational moment, the one where you realize you were never invisible. You were just preparing. All my love, Dad. Tears blur the words. Emma reads it again, her hands shaking. Her father didn't die helplessly. He died protecting her, arming her with a weapon disguised as her own name. She remembers the last conversation they had, him asking her about her day at work, listening intently to every detail about her projects, her colleagues, her security clearances. She thought he was just being a caring father. Now she realizes he was gathering intelligence, mapping out how to protect her from inside the very system that would eventually try to destroy her. And now someone is trying to finish what they started. Gabriel appears at her window, pale and breathing hard. Blood stains his sleeve. Emma unlocks the door. What happened to you? Evelyn Cross knows I gave you that letter. He stumbles inside, clutching his ribs. She's been watching me since your father died, waiting to see if he left evidence behind. She just didn't know what or where. Evelyn, the vice president of operations. Gabriel nods grimly. She authorized Gene Vault. She orchestrated your father's death, and now she's using your credentials to frame you for the explosion. But why me? Because you're perfect. Gabriel's laugh is bitter. The shy girl nobody notices. No allies, no power. A dead father and a quiet life. If she can pin corporate espionage on you, she walks away clean while you take the fall for everything. Emma feels the room tilt. She's been watching me this whole time. You were her insurance policy from the beginning, but your father turned you into her worst nightmare. He coded you so deeply into Gene Vault that deleting you triggers every federal alarm in the system. She has to make it look like you voluntarily destroyed the evidence, like you're the criminal. So the explosion was her attempt to destroy proof before the SEC audit. She thinks she can rewrite the digital logs and frame you. But she doesn't know about your father's failsafe. She doesn't realize that every move she makes is being recorded under both your names. Gabriel's breathing becomes labored. He leans against the counter, wincing. Your father came to me 3 days before he died. Handed me that envelope. Said if anything happened to him, I had to protect you. At first I thought he was paranoid. Then he died, and I knew they'd murdered him. I've been living with that guilt for 6 years, Emma. Watching you go to work every day knowing they were circling you like predators. I couldn't warn you without tipping them off. All I could do was wait for them to make their move so I could finally keep my promise to your father. Emma's mind races. What do I do now? You fight back. You go public. You let Nathan help you. He has resources, credibility, reach. And you stop hiding. Gabriel grips her shoulder with surprising strength. Your father spent his last years being afraid, but he made sure you wouldn't have to. Don't waste his gift. Mrs. Mary arrives carrying a covered dish and wearing an expression of fierce, grandmotherly determination. Gabriel called me from the hospital, she says, setting down the food and pulling Emma into a tight embrace. Oh, sweetheart, I've been waiting 6 years for this day. You knew, Emma's voice cracks. Your father told me everything before he died. Made me promise to watch over you, to make sure you'd be ready when the moment came. Mary cups Emma's face tenderly. You've spent your whole life thinking you're invisible, honey. But I see you. Gabriel sees you. Nathan sees you. Your father saw you most of all. The world didn't overlook you because you're forgettable. It overlooked you because you let it. I don't know how to fight this. You don't need to know how. You just need to start. Mary's eyes blaze with conviction. This isn't about being fearless, Emma. This is about choosing courage even when you're terrified. That's what makes a story truly inspirational. Not the absence of fear, but action in spite of it. Mary takes Emma's hands in her weathered ones. I lost my husband to cancer 30 years ago. For months after, I felt invisible too. Like the world had forgotten I existed. But then I realized I was waiting for someone to see me, when what I really needed was to start seeing myself. That's what your father wanted for you. Not just survival, but a life where you know your own worth. Emma looks at the letter, at Gabriel wounded but resolute, at Mary fierce and loving. And for the first time in 6 years, something shifts inside her chest. Not confidence, not certainty, just a decision. Call Nathan, she says, her voice steady. Tell him I'm ready to fight. Mary smiles, tears in her eyes. That's my girl. Gabriel nods, exhausted but relieved. Your father would be so proud. Emma picks up her phone. Her hands aren't shaking anymore. The shy girl is learning to roar. Her father left her a weapon made of code and courage. Now she has to learn how to wield it before Evelyn erases them both from existence. Nathan arrives within 40 minutes. He brings a laptop, a legal team on standby, and eyes that hold the kind of pain Emma recognizes, the look of someone who's lost everything and refuses to lose again. Show me the letter, he says quietly. She hands it over. He reads slowly, carefully, then looks at her with something close to wonder. Your father was brilliant. He didn't just protect you, he transformed you into a living audit trail. Every transaction connected to GeneVault is now linked to your biometric signature. If Evelyn tries to cover up the data, she incriminates herself. If she tries to delete you from the system, she deletes the evidence, keeping her out of federal prison. Emma swallows hard. So I'm bait. No. You're the trap she's already walked into. She just doesn't know it yet. Nathan opens his laptop and pulls up streams of data. 3 hours ago, someone used your credentials to authorize a transfer of GeneVault files to an offshore server. But the transfer was incomplete. It triggered your father's fail-safe protocol. Now every keystroke, every access point, every deletion attempt is being logged in real time and copied to a secure federal server. He turns the screen toward her. Lines of code scroll past. Timestamps. her name woven through every entry like an unbreakable thread. "She thinks she's erasing you from the system," Emma whispers, "but she's actually documenting her own crimes." "Exactly. Your father bet everything on the hope you'd be brave enough to see it through when the moment came." Nathan's voice softens. "And you are. You stayed home. You read the letter. You called me." Emma, courage isn't about being unafraid. It's about taking action while you're still terrified. And you've been doing that since 5 o'clock this morning. For the first time, Emma sees herself through someone else's eyes, not as a shy girl in the background, but as someone fighting for truth. It's unexpectedly heartwarming, this feeling of being seen. At 4:15, the knock Emma's been dreading finally comes. Evelyn Cross. Impeccable suit. Perfect hair. A smile that doesn't reach her calculating eyes. "Emma, thank God you're safe." Evelyn steps inside uninvited, her voice dripping false concern. "The police are searching for you. There's been a terrible misunderstanding about the explosion. But I can help clear this up if you come with me now." Emma doesn't move. "How?" "Come to the precinct with me. We'll explain your account was compromised, that you had nothing to do with any of this. I'll personally vouch for your innocence." Nathan appears in the doorway. "She's not going anywhere with you, Evelyn." Evelyn's mask slips for just a second before resetting. "Mr. Hale, how unexpected. I wasn't aware you and Emma knew each other." "We do now." Evelyn's gaze shifts between them, recalculating. Her eyes narrow slightly as she assesses the situation, looking for weaknesses, for leverage, for control. This is a woman who's spent decades manipulating outcomes, and Emma can see her mind working through scenarios, probabilities, escape routes. "Emma, you need to understand what's happening here," Evelyn says, her tone shifting to something almost maternal. "Nathan lost his wife in one of our research trials. He's been trying to destroy Coleman Capital ever since. He's manipulating you to get revenge." "No," Emma says quietly but firmly. "You are." Evelyn's expression freezes. "The only manipulation here," Nathan adds, "is thinking Emma wouldn't figure out what you've done." He gestures to the laptop on the table. The screen displays live data, every action Evelyn's taken in the last 6 hours, logged and time-stamped under Emma's fail-safe protocol. Evelyn stares at the evidence, her face draining of color. "You think you can threaten me with data?" Her voice turns to ice. "I built that system. I control it. I can erase anything I want." "Try it," Nathan says calmly. "Every deletion you make is automatically forwarded to the SEC, the FBI, and 3 major news outlets. Emma's father made sure of that." Emma steps forward, finding strength she didn't know she possessed. "You tried to make me invisible, but my father made sure that erasing me would expose everything you've done, every person you've hurt, every law you've broken." Evelyn's composure finally shatters. She lunges for the laptop. Nathan blocks her path. Gabriel emerges from the hallway, phone raised, recording everything. "You should have left her alone," Gabriel says quietly. "You should have let the past stay buried." Evelyn whirls on him, fury replacing calculation. "You gave her that letter. You betrayed me after everything I did for you. You didn't do anything for me. You blackmailed me into silence after your people beat me unconscious in a parking garage and threatened my sister. There's a difference." Gabriel's voice is steady despite his injuries. And now that silence ends. Outside, sirens wail. Red and blue lights flash through the windows. The door opens without a knock. Police officers enter, badges displayed. Evelyn Cross, you're under arrest for corporate fraud, conspiracy to commit murder, data manipulation, and obstruction of justice in the death of Richard Roe. Evelyn's face contorts with rage and disbelief. This is absurd. I haven't. Save it for your attorney, the lead officer says, snapping handcuffs onto her wrists with practiced efficiency. As they escort her out, Evelyn looks back at Emma one final time. You really think you've won? You're just a number in a system. You'll always be nobody. Emma meets her eyes without flinching. I was never nobody. You just didn't want to see me. None of you did. But I'm done being invisible. The door closes. The sirens fade into the distance. Emma stands in the sudden quiet, tears streaming down her face. Nathan's hand warm on her shoulder. Gabriel leaning against the wall with a pained but genuine smile. Mrs. Mary emerges from the kitchen with tea. Well done, sweetheart. Your father would be so proud of you. The shy girl just took down a corporate empire. And she's still standing. Justice is served. The villain exposed. But the real healing, learning to live in the light, is just beginning. 3 weeks later, Emma sits in a glass-walled conference room at Hale Biotech. Sunlight pours through the windows. She's not hiding in shadows anymore. Nathan sits across from her, documents spread between them. The SEC has frozen all Coleman Capital assets. GeneVault is being completely dismantled. Every person whose genetic data was stolen is being notified and receiving compensation. And Evelyn, awaiting trial on 14 federal charges. She'll spend decades in prison. Nathan pauses, his expression softening. Your father's name has been officially cleared. The media is calling him a whistleblower hero. There's talk of legislation being named after him, laws protecting corporate whistleblowers and genetic privacy. Emma's throat tightens with emotion. He would have hated the attention. He never wanted to be seen as a hero. Neither did you, but here you are. Nathan's gaze is gentle. You've been offered a position as an independent consultant. Companies want you to audit their ethics protocols. They're calling you the analyst who brought down Coleman Capital. I just told the truth. That's exactly why they want you. He leans forward. Emma, you did something most people are too afraid to do. You stood up to power. You trusted yourself when the whole world told you to doubt. That's inspirational to a lot of people. She looks at him. Really looks at him. This man who lost his wife and still chose to fight for justice. Who saw her when everyone else looked through her. Who didn't let her disappear. Why did you really help me? She asks softly. Nathan's expression grows distant with old grief. When my wife died, I blamed myself. I thought if I'd been smarter, faster, more aware, I could have saved her. But I couldn't. The only thing I could do was make sure her death meant something. That it prevented other people from suffering the same way. You didn't have to care about me. Yes, I did. His voice is quiet but absolute. Because you reminded me why I started this company. Not for profit, not for recognition. To protect people who couldn't protect themselves. You and your father both deserved that protection. I failed him. I wasn't going to fail you too. Emma feels something break open inside her chest. Not pain this time, but release. Thank you for seeing me. You don't need to thank me. You saved yourself, Emma. You made the choice to fight, to trust, to stop being invisible. All I did was stand beside you while you found your courage. Gabriel is gone, arrested for leaking classified information to expose Evelyn's crimes. But before they took him, he left Emma a final message with Mrs. Mary. A voice recording on an old cassette tape. Emma listens alone in her apartment, afternoon light spilling through windows she used to keep covered. Emma, if you're hearing this, it means I kept my promise to your father. He asked me to watch over you to make sure you'd be ready when the time came. I didn't think I could do it. I'd spent years hiding, staying quiet, pretending I didn't see what Coleman was doing. But your father believed in second chances. He believed people could change. So I changed, and I don't regret a single moment. You're free now. Free from Evelyn. Free from the past. Free from being that shy girl everyone overlooked. Your father didn't sacrifice himself so you could keep hiding. He did it so you could finally live. So live, Emma. Live loudly. Live bravely. Live like someone who knows she matters. Set yourself free. The tape clicks off. Emma sits in the silence, Gabriel's words echoing in her heart. He gave up his freedom so she could discover hers, just like her father did. And now it's her turn to decide what to do with this hard-won liberty. Mrs. Mary invites Emma for evening tea. They sit on Mary's porch, the city humming peacefully below the sky, painted soft with twilight. You know, Mary says, her voice full of warmth, your father used to sit right here with me. We'd talk about you for hours. He'd say, Mary, she's so quiet, so careful. I just wish she knew how much light she carries inside her. Someday the world will see it. I just hope I'm around to watch. Emma's voice breaks. I miss him so much. I know, sweetheart, but he's not really gone. Mary squeezes her hand. Every time you choose truth over fear, every time you stand up instead of staying silent, every time you let yourself be seen, he's right there with you. That's how love works. It doesn't end. It just changes form. Do you think he'd be proud of what I did? Mary smiles through her own tears. Oh, honey, he was proud of you every single day of your life. You just didn't believe it yet. But now you do. And that changes everything. They sit together in comfortable silence, sipping tea, watching the sun set over the city that almost destroyed Emma, but couldn't. She's still here, still standing, still learning how to live in the light instead of the shadows. It's a heartwarming ending to a story that began in terror-proof, that even the quietest voices can shake the foundations of power. The truth didn't just set her free. It taught her how to see herself. And that makes all the difference. 1 year later, Emma Rowe walks into a coffee shop with her head up and shoulders back. She orders without hesitation, sits by the window, opens her laptop without hiding the screen. She's an independent consultant now specializing in corporate ethics and data security. Companies hire her to find the vulnerabilities in their systems, the places where people like Evelyn can hide corruption. She's exceptional at it, better than she ever imagined possible. Her phone buzzes with a text from Nathan. Dinner tonight. Maybe this time without the corporate conspiracies, she smiles. They've been together for months now, slowly, carefully building something real. Two people who learned that trust isn't assumed, it's earned. That love isn't about grand gestures, but consistent presence. That being seen by someone who truly understands you is its own kind of miracle. She texts back, only if you promise not to talk about encryption protocols. His response is immediate, no promises, but I'll try. She laughs, a genuine, unguarded sound that still surprises her sometimes. Across the coffee shop, a young woman sits hunched over her laptop, shoulders curved inward, making herself small. She looks exactly the way Emma used to look. Invisible, afraid, alone. Emma watches her for a moment, remembering. Then she stands, walks over, and sits down across from her. Hi, I'm Emma. You look like you could use some company. The woman blinks, startled and wary. I'm okay, really. I used to say that too. Emma's smile is gentle knowing. But sometimes okay just means you're surviving. And you deserve more than survival. You deserve to actually live. The woman's eyes fill with tears. How did you know? Because I was you. Someone saw me when I couldn't see myself. Helped me find courage I didn't know I had. Now I'm paying it forward. It's one of the most inspirational moments of Emma's new life, recognizing herself in someone else's struggle and choosing to help. That night, Emma sits at her desk and writes a letter. Not to mail. Just to remember. Dear past Emma, you were never invisible. You were waiting. Waiting to be ready. Waiting to be brave. Waiting for the moment when fear became smaller than faith in yourself. That moment is now. Every single day. Every choice you make. Every breath you take in freedom. The truth Dad left you wasn't just about exposing Gene Vault. It was about you. About the light you carry. About the courage you were born with, but forgot how to see. Here's what I need you to remember. You don't have to be fearless. You just have to be willing. Willing to trust yourself. Willing to be seen. Willing to believe that the people who love you aren't wrong about your worth. Dad was right about you. Nathan was right about you. Mrs. Mary was right. Gabriel was right. Now you need to be right about yourself. Love today's Emma. She folds the letter carefully and tucks it inside the frame with her father's photo. His smile still radiates warmth and belief after all these years. Thank you, Dad, she whispers. For everything. For the courage. For the love. For making me impossible to erase. The evening light catches the frame, soft, warm, golden. Emma realizes this is what healing actually feels like. Not the absence of pain, but the presence of hope. Not forgetting the past, but building something better from its ashes. The shy girl who thought she didn't matter just learned the most important truth of all: she always mattered. The world just hadn't learned to look properly yet. This is how transformation happens, not in one dramatic moment, but in 1,000 small choices to keep standing, keep fighting, keep believing you deserve to be seen.